In today's video, we are going to have a look at Shiba Inu, and I can tell you already, guys, we are going to have a look at so many different charts of Shiba Inu. We are going to have a look at the narrative. We're going to talk a little bit about the prophecies of Shiba Inu, because this token is just looking from a analyst perspective very interesting, and I will show you everything in this video, and let me know in the comment section what you think about the findings that I'm going to share with you here today. So guys, let's jump straight into it. And first of all, guys, what is Shiba Inu? Well, Shiba Inu is one of the OG meme tokens, and I want to start very simple by looking at the US dollar charts and share with you what I found right here. So as you can see, I've drawn a triangle formation right here, and this we can actually delete, but we have a triangle formation and we have a declining resistance, which is pretty clear if you ask me. We have an uptrending support, it's also pretty clear if you ask me, and we have a green zone right here. Why did I draw this green zone right here? Because this is generally the support zone, right? So if we, let's say, were to break below this uptrending white line, the support right here, I think the next level to watch is definitely the green support zone, and that would present us with an amazing buying opportunity. However, I personally believe that this white uptrending line is very significant because we have a declining resistance as well, making this a triangle formation basically. But also, and that's maybe even more important, the relation from Shiba to other tokens, what I'm going to share with you as well. But this actually looks pretty good. When we have a look at the momentum indicator, we can see that we are getting a bullish cross. The previous time we've seen that we had a nice swing in Shiba's price. I actually think, although we do see a lot of weakness recently in this token, I think that weakness can come to an end and we could start and swing higher right here if we can maintain above this white line, which is at 1150 roughly. But I want to bring you guys to some other charts from Shiba Inu, which are very interesting. And the first one is Shiba Inu against Bitcoin. And the reason why I bring up this chart is because there is such a clear structure right here. It's like this, you call this a declining channel. So it's like a channel where the price just is in a declining phase. And although that is kind of like a downtrend, right? So it's still pretty bullish when we are at support level. So right now we are at a support level. We are at macro support. Very interesting, because previous times when we touched the support level right here, we didn't even came to it in 2022. We went back to the resistance. Here we had a touch with the support. We first had quite a big bounce. That was a bounce from the support till the top of 67%. Afterwards we came back to the support. Then we had another bounce to the resistance of this channel, and right now we had seen a big correction, Shiba against Bitcoin, but we are back at the support again, which I find very interesting. So this is definitely one of the altcoins that I'm looking that I think will do pretty good if we are going to see a next altcoin season. But like I said in my previous video too, sometimes it's just difficult to imagine. What I'm seeing in the charts right now is we are seeing a good buying opportunity in this chart, especially against Bitcoin. In a couple of months from now, or maybe even at the end of this year, you're going to look back at this chart maybe and say like, oh, it was so obvious in hindsight that this was a very good buying opportunity. But right now, when you enter the position, you will not feel it, because that's how investing works. When I went all in into Bitcoin, when Bitcoin was trading at $3,000 US, yeah, this is quite a while back, it also felt really, well, back then I was actually pretty sure about my position, otherwise I wouldn't go all in. But you have to set your emotional side aside in order to enter, and you have to have that trust that in the future the things will look different. But this chart is just looking like a nice setup for me. This is a Shiba Inu against Ethereum. I find this one also very interesting. It is not at a massive support level like we are seeing with Bitcoin. So we already touched the support level in, February last month, or like February this year. Now we are a little bit in the middle, but that doesn't mean that this actually can break out to the upside eventually. But yeah, to have a little bit more certainty about that, you want to basically wait until this chart is breaking out and has like a significant breakout, not like a fake out like we are seeing right here. And if this thing comes down again and it's touching the support again, I think this is again a good buying opportunity when we compare this with Ethereum. So against Ethereum, it's definitely not looking all too bad too, but the Bitcoin chart is definitely looking very good. Then let's have a look at Shiba Inu against XRP, also a very important one. What we can see right here, guys, is that we have a sideways range. I've drawn a sideways range right here since 2021, and the previous time we touched that support, right, we actually just went to the resistance. That's what that was actually a big rally of 800% against XRP, and right now Shiba has been really coming down to that baseline of that channel again. And I believe, because we can also see it in the momentum indicators, it's nice curving again right here. I will show you on the daily time frame in a sec. And we have, with the momentum indicators, we do have like a higher low. So we have a low right here. We have a higher low in the momentum indicator, lower low in the price. Like, for me personally, from just an analyst perspective, this looks like a good setup. It looks like Shiba it's a big advantage to hold Shiba in terms of this chart than XRP. Also, when we go to the daily time frame, you can see this nice, like, we first dump, but the dumping is getting lower, and this is like curving. It's like curving, and that's like what you normally want to see. So it can take maybe a little bit of time if this curvature like takes some time again. What we shouldn't do, we shouldn't break below these lows, of course. That's very important. But the basic message of this video, guys, is that just in general, if we're looking at Shiba chart against US dollar, against Bitcoin, Ethereum is a little bit limbo, is a little bit in the middle, and against XRP, it is at amazing buying opportunities. It is at places in the chart at macro support where you will not see this token first that often and second that long. So yeah, definitely something interesting, but I also gotta emphasize the fact that a lot of things are leaning right now on Bitcoin, right? And Bitcoin gotta make a decision if Bitcoin is going to start and rally, and we are going to have that cancelled altcoin season reintroduced, and we actually going to see that altcoin season, then I think Shiba is going to be one of the tokens that is going to perform very well. And also, guys, that's just a little bit of a side note for the ones that are interested in that. There are a lot of prophetic messages about Shiba Inu too. Like, I'm not going to claim that I have any visions about Shiba Inu, because I basically don't. But I've heard many people talking about this, and they're all talking about similar stories, like Shiba going to 1 cent. That would be a 300x roughly from the levels it is trading right now. And the interesting thing, and then we go back to the narrative, is that Shiba actually in August of 2024, so late 2024, introduced a protocol a program called ShibTorch. Quite funny name, but what they basically do is 70% from the transaction fees that they collect from the Shiba Inu chain, 70% is being used to burn tokens, so to decrease the supply. And I gotta say that Shiba Inu right now is like, the chain probably is not used that much, right? So probably the burning progress right now is not that significant, but you can imagine that something in the future might occur where a lot of people are using the chain from Shiba Inu, right? Maybe because some game is developed, or, I don't know. This is just a possibility. And that suddenly, a lot of transactions are being done. Maybe meme tokens are launched, or who knows, right? What we have seen with Solana, of course, is not going to be as massive as Solana, but I'm just trying to say that they have a program where 70% of the fees that are being collected on the platform will be used to burn tokens, so to decrease the token supply. And that could be one of the narratives, even if it's only a narrative, for the price to go up. So I definitely see an interesting correlation right here. But I also really want to emphasize the fact that yes, we might see, it might all take a while for this all going to be manifested like an altcoin season, because we are so far, it feels right now, we are so far from an altcoin season that it's very difficult to imagine a future like this. And that's also why I drew the green line right here, because because we also got rejected right here, if we do break below the white line, we probably go to this green zone, which definitely in the historical price action of Shiba Inu has been a great buying opportunity. That might invalidate this triangle formation that I've drawn here, but it hasn't been invalidated yet. But it will create another nice buying opportunity, and we have to see how the charts will look against Bitcoin. But if I just look at the charts right now, I definitely see some a nice setup with Shiba Inu, but it all has to go in hand with Bitcoin rallying. And then once Bitcoin rallies and the trust is back in the crypto markets, then the profits made with Bitcoin, they will rain down on altcoins. That will create an altcoin season. That only happens when there's a lot of trust in the markets. So that definitely needs to happen. So all the things that I'm shared in today's video, the narratives, the charts from Shiba Inu, they're all setting up pretty good. Only when we are going to see that altcoin season, which will start with Bitcoin, maybe followed by Ethereum, and then followed into these other tokens. But also another message what I want to share is that even though right now it feels like we are in a bear market and everything is going down, everything is also going down. So it is a legitimate feeling. A lot of things can change in the market pretty quickly, and in a couple of months from now, or maybe even at the end of the year, you might look back at this chart and then we are maybe breaking out. So we are somewhere right here, so we did something like maybe like this, small fake out, and then we go like up. I'm just saying like a random outcome here at the end of 25. In hindsight, it definitely makes a lot of sense. Like, oh yeah, this was always looking like that already. Right? It just doesn't feel like it right now because the emotional state of the markets is very negative. Right? It's almost difficult to talk about the bullishness about this token. This token is setting up pretty good, but I realize that sometimes or often I have to go against my own emotional state. So when I see a chart setting up good, I'll just invest, I'll just position, and I'll just let the universe handle the rest. And the emotional state is just blurring my vision, to be honest. So if I would just delete the ticker right here, Shiba Inu, I would just look at this chart, and it could be any chart, could be the Dixie, could be of other forex, it could be a stock. When I would just look at this chart, I would actually say like, okay, this is looking bullish, looking like a good setup. And if I then of course wouldn't know the ticker of these charts, I would say this is like nice support levels where you can enter this ticker, whatever ticker it would be, right? But in terms of narrative, we definitely need that confidence back in the markets. But yeah, like I said, it can happen quickly. Things can happen quickly. Guys, that was it for today's video. A little bit a deep dive into Shiba Inu. I know some of you guys have been talking about this token. Probably some of you are positioned in this token as well. It has been going down. I know I'm also positioned in this token. I'm sticking again with my hodl position with this token. I'll keep it. And I think that sooner or later this is going to turn around and we can see some firework with Shiba Inu, because of the reasons that I've explained in today's video. Guys, thank you all for watching. Wish you all a beautiful day and hope to see every single one of you in the next video. Bye bye.